Mitch McConnell is infamous for his leadership in blocking the confirmation of Merrick Garland into the Supreme Court. They didn't even have a hearing for Merrick Garland, who was, of course, nominated by Obama 14 months before his term was up. Now, McConnell and Senate Republicans defended that decision, saying that they should wait until the new president comes in and that person should be the one who nominates a Supreme Court justice. And so I found it fascinating to see how McConnell really suffered and really tried to twist himself into an answer when he was challenged on this when being interviewed on Face the Nation. So this is a long video, but just pay attention to it. This is one of the few examples where the mainstream press actually did a good job in follow-up questions and fact checking. So enjoy this video and then we'll break it down further.
In the history of partisanship on the Supreme Court, your decision to block Merrick Garland is something they see as having kicked off a new stage in the partisanship associated with Supreme Court nominees.
Yeah, they don't know much history. You have to go back to 1880 to find the last time a Senate controlled by a different party from the president confirmed a Supreme Court justice to a vacancy created in the middle of a presidential election. They also conveniently forgotten that Joe Biden said in 1992, when he was chairman of the Judiciary Committee, the Democrats control the Senate, Republican in the White House. If a vacancy occurred, they wouldn't fill it. They also conveniently forgot that Chuck Schumer and Harry Reid, 18 months before the end of Bush 43, said if a Supreme Court vacancy occurred, they wouldn't fill it. Talk about hypocrisy.
Right, but Mr. Leader, I don't think that's right. In 1956, Eisenhower nominated Brennan. The 84th Congress was a Democrat controlled. And also on the Biden rule, Joe Biden was talking in the abstract. There was no nominee was blocked. And he said to not have the nomination come up before the election, but that it could come up after the election. And so what Democrats say when they hear you doing this is they say he's creating new rules to essentially do what he wants to do. And as you've written in your book, The Long Game, when you do that, it actually hurts democracy.
Yeah, well, that's not at all what happened, John. You're completely misconstruing what happened. What I gave you is the history of this. I know the history of this. I've spent a lot of time on this throughout my career. What I did was entirely consistent with what the history of the Senate's been in that situation going back to 1880.
Well, I think the 1956 example, and also in 1968, later in the election cycle, when a Democratic president put somebody forward, the Republican leader worked with him to get that person a hearing and get him towards the Supreme Court, which is not something that you did. A vote at the time.
Then there was a Democrat. Then there was a Democrat in the White House and a Democratic Senate.
But the Republican leader at the time tried to help the Democratic president.
John, you are not listening to me. The history is exactly as I told you.
Well, we have a disagreement about the history, but I greatly appreciate you being with us.
Oh, look, he didn't like that.
No, he didn't like that at all. I want to give John Dickerson a world of credit there. He is absolutely right about the facts. And then the politician got visibly agitated, like, how dare you catch me in a lie and tell the American people that I'm lying. The 1956 example is spot on. He's 100% right about that, Dickerson is. And McConnell is like, what? I'm allowed to lie on TV. You're not allowed to, rebut me. You're supposed to go, oh, well, he said, she said. Well, the Democrats frame it this way. No, it's a fact. Great job by John Dickerson there in not letting it go. And so, oh, Mitch McConnell, what do you want? You want to cry because you didn't get to lie once on TV? So you've been telling that lie about 1880 for years now. It's about time somebody actually busted you on national television. And he said, in the middle of an election. What do you mean in the middle of an election? You guys held up Merrick Garland for 14 months. It's not like it was October or September before the election, right? Mm-hmm. You know what was in the middle of an election? Kavanaugh. There's a month left before the election. That's a midterm election, right? But if you're concerned about proximity to an election, well, I mean, look at this. Why don't you let the American people decide? They'll put in a Senate, which will either confirm or not confirm Kavanaugh. And that's your rule, Mitch. Okay, so under your logic, the American people should decide whether Kavanaugh. No, but you didn't listen to that. Come on, everybody knows this. And that's why I'm thrilled about Dickerson's performance there, because so often the mainstream press pretend like, well, I can't tell. I can't tell if Mitch McConnell's right or his opponents are right. No, there is a right answer here. Mitch McConnell definitely played politics, definitely is lying about the precedent. And so, and it's not, look, and we're not naive. Well, can the Democrats play politics from time to time? Oftentimes very poorly so, but yes, of course, right? But in this case, is Mitch McConnell a hypocrite? Only the top one. I mean, it's breaking records left and right on hypocrisy.
Yeah. How do you feel? Let's go to his one shot again. How do you feel about the fact that Mitch McConnell looks like he's about to destroy you? Like he looks like he's about to eat you.
Yeah, he does look like a bit of an evil turtle there. Okay, but come at me, bro. You snap, I snap. Okay,
yeah.
So Mitch, please. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.